Welcome to FinTech Focus TV. I'm very happy to be joined today by the Managing Director of MyDocSafe, Daniel Stachowiak. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
So it would be fabulous if you could tell us a little bit more about your business.
With pleasure. MyDocSafe automates complex processes for professional services firms, such as onboarding of clients, employees, or investors, and also provides compliance tools for GDPR and MiFID.
Fabulous. So initially, what interested you about the space?
Well, the idea came in my home office when I looked at my metal box called filing cabinet, and I thought that actually it's an unnecessary piece of kit.
Yes.
And people who produce the documents should actually be doing all the work for me, and I would like that to be in the cloud, and I would like that to be secure. So that was the original idea of basically getting rid of filing cabinets, but then it morphed into something much bigger.
Yeah, absolutely. So changing a bit of direction, maybe you could tell us a little bit about your background and what experiences you've had in the past that help you set up MyDocSafe.
Yeah. Well, actually, I have a computer science degree that I have never used in practice because I went into management consulting straight out of school.
Wow.
And then after my MBA, I spent a decade in private equity, almost a decade, investing in primarily in real estate, and then realized that those assets are a great ground to experiment with new software companies.
Absolutely.
And then started looking at that sort of innovation, invested in a few, joined the board of one, and built the network and expertise to then be able to look at my own ideas.
Great. And going back to MyDocSafe and the market, for the products that you've produced, what key opportunities do you see here in the UK and Europe?
I think they're vast. I think, and I must say that legislation does help a lot.
Absolutely, yeah.
Around electronic identity, around electronic signature, and now around GDPR, because it really focuses everyone's mind on securing communication with clients and other stakeholders, and that's where we come in. We automate and secure those transactions and put the end user in control of their data. And I think that's a hot topic, and we are in the middle of that storm, and which I think is great. And it's a pan-European opportunity. Yeah. So, well, UK is part of it, and the legislation applies directly here, which is great, great as a place to start.
Yeah, absolutely. And what about the challenges that you're facing and your plans to overcome them?
Well, as a small company, we have all sorts of challenges. Where do I start?
Yeah.
I think selling, well, you have problem, of course, of breaking into the market and selling to the public sector or to the enterprise, or enterprises in general. And then, of course, figuring out a sales model that is fit for purpose, because if we are focusing on SMEs, we can't have a high-touch selling process. And then, of course, we have a war for talent with the gorillas, and we have to pay market prices and attract the right people. So it's a multi-front battle, but it's great fun.
Great, it's good that it's a challenge. And then thinking about your competitors, are there specific points of differentiation?
There are. Well, because we do a lot of things and we stitch them up together into an end-to-end process, in that sense, I believe we are unique in the market segment we're in. But if you look at every single element of the process we do, there are probably 20 competitors for each of them. Yeah. But our value proposition is that we are a one-stop shop. We go to an SME or someone who doesn't want to have an expensive integration project, and we tell them, well, you can do most of the things yourself without scouting the market and doing the beauty parade, etc. You just do everything through us, and you design it. You are in control. And so I think that is a unique proposition at the moment.
Yeah. Fantastic. And then looking at the future of the market, where do you see it heading?
Well, we are only scratching the surface. I think that you still have, at least within the accounting profession and other professional services firms we are talking to, there are still a lot of people who don't even want to make a mental leap of getting rid of paper. Because they don't have to, or because they don't trust the cloud or modern technologies. And some of them will never convert. some of them will, and that's the sort of the green pasture that is the great opportunity. And then even within people who are looking at those technologies, the adoption is still relatively small.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I think Europe is a great platform for this sort of service, because I think the time is ripe and people are looking at it. And everyone wants to be secure and digital and provide a great experience to their customers, but doesn't want to build the technology or focus too much on procuring it. So we want to be that seamless sort of back office, front office player that is simply in there and saving everyone's time and energy. Yeah,
very unique proposition. So I know we've spoken about a few of the challenges. Are there any other obstacles that you see that you face?
Well, I think that the main obstacle in terms of breaking, going to the next level for us is selling to the public sector and to the enterprise world.
Yeah.
We are making an inroad through our MiFID II compliance platform, which is now being adopted both by UK banks and UK local authorities. But that's still just this, hopefully the stepping stone, the foot in the door. I think we can do so much more, and there is a role for government here to help people like us. There is G-Cloud, etc. But I think it's very hard to actually convert those programs into revenue. So we're trying to find our feet in there. And in terms of selling to the enterprise, well, once we have a reference client, and we're now hopefully going to have one very soon, I think that should start the ball rolling. Yeah, absolutely. So you're differentiating yourself immensely on the product side. I know there's also the drive forward on the employer side. What do you think attracts people to MyDocSafe? Well, we're not a known brand, so it's not like I can put a poster and say come to and work for us and everyone will know. We are fighting a battle. We have to compete. We have to pay global rates. It's a global market for IT talent, so there is very little we can work with. However, as a young company, we can offer equity or stock options, which is something that not everyone offers, and as a virtual distributed team, we can cater to a wide range of lifestyles, as long as people perform, which they mostly do. And I think that is a great proposition, because it allows us to, first of all, recruit people from across different countries. We are more diverse, and we can cater to those lifestyles. So that's the value proposition for now. It may change in the future if we are successful to the point of establishing a permanent office, but we're still some distance from there. Yeah. So thinking more generally, what are your plans for 2018 and beyond? Oh, we have very ambitious plans. On the business development side, we would like to establish ourselves as a key player within the process automation and client onboarding and the client portal space within professional services firms. It's a very narrow segment, but we just want to be a player in there. And we would like to then build a proper foothold within the public sector and the enterprise world. And on the sort of balance sheet building side, we are considering potentially another fundraise. So at the end of the year, we may be a very different company if we're lucky. Yeah, constantly moving forward. So looking at financial services more generally, where do you see are the areas that are really ripe for disruption at the moment? Well, everyone talks about payments and blockchain and AI, so I don't want to be another voice that says exactly those things. I think I must say that I still need to see a compelling blockchain use case deployed within our space, because there are alternatives. You have databases. A distributed database may not necessarily trump the existing technology. But I think that those use cases are emerging. We are keenly observing the space, and we would like to be a player in that space, especially around recycling of digital assets, in a sense that you're spending money on an ID check or on procuring something, and then you own it, and then you are passing it on. maybe there is a way to actually lower the price of all those transactions by being able to recycle the report or the ID check you got, and then be able to control who actually gets it. So that's a very complex space, and blockchain, I think, has a role to play in there.
Absolutely.
But I think it's still very much an emerging concept which may or may not be resolved through blockchain.
Well, look, Daniel, thank you very much for joining us on FinTech Focus TV today. I'm very impressed by everything you said about My DocSafe. Thank you for joining us, and see you soon. Thank you.
Thank you.